Hey, it's the 15th of August, Monday, 15th of August, 2022. And this is your travel update for today. I'm Rudy Maxa. I'm a travel journalist and broadcaster. Tommy Danielson with the cool hat on is an expert in all things involving frequent flyer points and hotel points and credit card credits and points and miles and executives and what airline guys are doing. Together, we own a small upscale European tour company called maxatours.com. That's where you can find it, maxatours.com. Anyway, keep in mind that we are coming to you on the 15th of August because the information we discussed today is accurate and current as far as we know, but it may not be if you're watching this a week, a month, or a year later. Okay, Tommy, you want to go first? What do you got today?
Yeah, so I found an interesting story that I wasn't aware. So our friend Dave Neeleman, he started JetBlue back in the days. He started Azul down in South America, and he's pretty much, everything that Richard Branson wants to be. Richard Branson starts airlines, but they've lost billions of dollars. Virgin Atlantic has never made money. Virgin America never made money. And Dave Neeleman started now a new company here called Breeze Airways here in the U.S. They want a fee of $27 for buying tickets online, called a technology fee, technology development charge.
What?
Which you can. Let me put it up on the screen here. It is a fee that you get everybody that purchases on their website. How about that?
Well, how do you avoid that? By going to the airport and buying it?
Correct. You go to the airport and you don't have to pay the fee.
Wait a minute. The whole idea of being online was so that it wouldn't take up airline personnel's time with you at the airport trying to choose flights. This is like a reverse.
I don't know what to tell you. Of course, meaning driving to the airport, parking at the airport, paying for all that stuff, taking your time. If I were to go to the airport, it would cost me an hour and a half of my time. I probably have to stand in line because it's a low-cost carrier and they have lines and things like that. Then I got to pay to park. Of course, I have an electric car, so it doesn't cost anything for me to drive around. But
this is ridiculous.
It sure is. I think there's going to be a backlash on this because it is. It's actually. I know there are airlines like Ryanair and whatever. I think Spirit charges money to check in online, but this one I think takes the case. $27 to buy a ticket online as a technology development fee.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, that's ridiculous. Well, here's Okay, go ahead.
And we want to talk a little bit about. I don't want to talk too much about air travel being miserable. Well, it seems to me there's an article today in the Wall Street Journal that just came out this morning.
Right.
For those who are subscribers, you can also, just go and clear your cookies and start an incognito window if you want to read the article. These bottlenecks that we're seeing are particularly in Florida is one of the worst. And now we're seeing JetBlue, Avelo, and other airlines at JetBlue, Avelo, Spirit, and also American United cutting flights. JetBlue is cutting a massive amounts of flights to and from Florida.
Interesting.
And it comes down to the way that it obviously has to do with weather, it has to do with staffing shortages, but it also has to do with that corridor and the traffic that goes into Florida. So less flight to Florida in the future is definitely going to be a thing before we are back to normal.
It's not even winter yet. I mean, this is supposed to be off time for Florida.
No, but they got hurricanes and all sorts of other fun stuff that we don't have. So I think that at the end of the day, what we're seeing here, the delays are crazy. We're seeing cancel flights or delayed flights in Fort Lauderdale is 27% of all flights are delayed. In Miami, we're talking 25, Orlando 30, and Tampa 23, and then Palm Beach it looks like about the same.
Unbelievable! 1 out of every 4 flights is delayed.
Correct. And so I mean they don't have the capacity. It's poorly organized, and the way that the corridors are, it's just old school, and it needs to be revamped. So and as right now, JetBlue is canceling hundreds of flights to Florida in the next coming months because of this.
Unbelievable. Well, some good news if you're checking into the JW Marriott in Desert Springs, California. they want you to leave early. Now, I don't know if this is a way to cut down the amount of time they have to pay anybody to clean rooms and so on. But guests recently got this letter saying, if you'll check out by 9 a.m., we'll give you a $15 resort credit or 1,500 Marriott points. We'll hold your luggage in the lobby. You can enjoy breakfast, la-di-da-di-da, but get out of your room.
Yeah, I can't share. Let me see if I can just share my whole screen here and see if I can do it like that. So I'll do that instead without, let me just share the whole screen. I got, that hotel itself is, this is the letter that somebody got. I saw this post in the Marriott Insider group where you got a lot of Marriott sycophants who are just, regardless if Marriott killed Jimmy Hoffa, they would still love them to death, kind of like some other people we know. It's an interesting thing that this is offered but bear in mind that this is a $500 right now, $500 a night hotel. So it really isn't that much of a good deal, is it?
$15 back? No, especially if you want to sleep in a little that morning. But interesting. I've never seen a hotel offer an incentive to leave early. Interesting.
Yeah, and also I participated in this debate earlier here. I participated in the debate here a few minutes earlier here with somebody in that forum, and it turns out that that particular property is a resort, and as an elite member, you're not allowed to check out. You're not honored late checkout. They'll see what they can do, and of course, it's tough these days because Marriott is refusing to hire back people to the levels that they had before. They're blaming that there's an employee shortage, which there isn't, and it says on the website that elites gets checkout at 4 p.m. If you're platinum or titanium or above of platinum, you get 4 p.m. checkout. Of course, that's not correct, but it still says so on their website. I thought that was kind of interesting too.
All right, you got another item? I have only one more item.
I have, you go ahead. So the drought in Europe continues, and I thought it was kind of, we've seen it. The consequences that we've seen is now starting to spread to other areas as well.
And it's affecting river cruises, which of course are very popular in Europe. And this is not the first time river cruises. I mean, sometimes if the rivers get too low, basically your vessel, as they call it in the river cruise business, pulls over and they put you on a bus, and then they drive you an hour or two down to where the river is higher, and another vessel picks you up. But the drought is particularly brutal in Germany and in France and in England. Not that there are any river cruises in England that I know of, but the point is it could get a lot worse. And this article suggests that it could permanently affect, or they say, the death of river cruising. I think that's a little strong for right now. But if you're going on a river cruise in the near future, keep in mind that rivers are quite low, and you might have to be bused to your final destination or your next or somewhere where you can be picked up.
Yeah, I think that, a number to note here in this article that you sent me is that 60% of all land in the EU and the UK has either a drought warning or alerts going on right now. And close to a place that's close to our heart. Look at this. This is Sirmione, Rudy. Look at how much of the clay is now on display here.
Oh my goodness!
I've never ever seen that before. That usually, there are piers here where boats come in and they can't go out. See, look, people walking on it. I don't know if you can see it. This is an article from a Norwegian newspaper. But for you who know Sirmione, you can see how low the levels are.
Yeah. Wow.
This is incredible.
This is a resort in northern Italy, by the way.
Yeah, it's a town in northern Italy called Sirmione, a peninsula all the way south in Lake Garda, the largest lake in Europe. Largest lake in Europe is not looking good.
Wow.
So hopefully there'll be some rain soon.
Yeah. Well, that's of course going on here in the United States as well. I mean, Lake Mead. I just keep wondering when I'm going to wake up one morning and all those houseboats will be on dry land because there's no water. But
they have to do the same thing we had to do here last year in California. Of course, it snowed and rained a lot this winter, So we're in better shape now than last year. But last year in California, well, actually, it's starting to get lower now. But called the biggest reservoir here in Northern California, they had to turn off the power plant. They had to take it offline. So, but anyway,
well, I know down in LA, and I was there about 6 weeks ago, and in LA there was, you could only water your lawn once a week or twice a week for half an hour or something. And it's water is an issue worldwide now, it seems. India, all kinds of places.
Yeah, the world is drying up, and we need to pay attention. All right, let's move on to another article I found that was kind of interesting. Wow, we got Tom Stuker stopping by today. That's interesting. Tom is our friend from United. He was on the United 787 Megadoo, where we had everybody was wearing cowboy hats. He's stopping by in the comments today. 23 million miles on United.
What did you just say? I'm sorry, I spoke over you. I was just saying a big howdy to Tom. But what were you saying, Tommy? I'm sorry.
Tom is the most United by far United's number one customer, and he has he just hit 23 million miles. And United doesn't have the fake way to track miles like American and the other guys do, where they count a bunch of other stuff. These are automotive miles.
Tom's the automotive parts guy out of Chicago, right?
Correct. That's him.
I've had him.
And he's a dear friend of ours. I love Tom, and it's fun to see him stop by here. But let's move on to the last thing I have.
I've had him on the radio show. I should get him on for a webcast.
You should. You got a lot to talk about this guy. The guy has been spent more time in the air than anybody I know.
Doesn't he have a first-class seat in his office or something from United, I think?
I don't think does he have an office? I think he's out all the time.
I don't know. Anyway, I'll reach out.
Maybe you should talk to him about that. Anyway, so the last thing I have on my list for today is a funny jab on blogs and journalism of today. So the Points Guy had a test. Ethan Clapper and Mimi Wright. I think I heard of the Ethan guy. I said maybe he's Jordan Clapper's buddy. I don't know, or anybody related to him. That would be cool. Anyway, so they stayed at the Frankfurt hotels, and it's funny to see that the way that they, hotel reviews and stuff like that. We do those over on our YouTube channel quite often, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And we've
had who won, the Hilton or the Marriott?
Yeah, so the Hilton and the Marriott is literally the same hotel. It used to be the Sheraton was, all things went, but they merged. They cut the hotels in half, and that didn't cut them in half. They have the same lounge together, and the lounges are not even mentioned in a frequent flyer points and miles website, which I thought was kind of funny. The word lounge is not here mentioned at all. But the funny part is that the conclusion of this is the Hilton. Let's skip the Hiltons. They're kind of a little bit further away, and you got to walk for a while and that kind of stuff. But it's funny with the conclusion at the end is that they are giving the victory to the Marriott. The Hilton is in second place, and the Sheraton is in third place. Here's the kicker, though: the Sheraton and the Marriott is the same hotel. It's just that they have two different brands. They have the same club lounge and they have the same room. So it's funny. So I just went to the Marriott website, and if you look at this is the Marriott. Yeah. Right. Look at the room right there, and with the desk right there. And this is the Sheraton. It's exactly the same. See, look at this. There's the Sheraton. That's the Marriott and the Sheraton. They're the same hotel room, and they have some rooms that are new, and there are some rooms that are not. And when they stayed at the Marriott, they got one of the newly refurbished room, but when for the Sheraton stay, they got one of the older rooms. So it's just interesting. Interesting article to muse off, where it's just so important to do a little bit of research before you start, especially when you have 10, 12 million readers a month. That's it's an interesting thing that
do they mention whether the prices are comparable or not?
They're about the same. It's the same. Our corporate agreement that we have for our company that you and I have, their prices are identical.
Okay. Well, I got to stay at the end of October. I got to stay in a beginning of October. I got to stay in a Marriott at a Frankfurt Airport hotel. So I'll call you and get your advice.
Well, if
All
you
right.
pick the Sheraton and the Marriott, they're exactly the same restaurants, the same lobby.
That's
It's just that
very
you have
funny.
the check-in for the Marriott here and the check-in for the Sheratons over there. So it's like in the same lobby, though. But it's just funny. Yeah,
Very funny.
Both of the hotels are obviously the same, but they're the most convenient because you just walk over that bridge and you're right there. And the Hilton is not really that much further. You go like one of those. You go down a long hallway and then you turn to the right and go another hallway and then it's there. The Hilton Garden Inn is cheaper. The Hilton is the same price as the Marriott and Sheraton. I guess it just depends on who you collect miles and points with.
All right. Well, it was
That's all I have for today, Rudy.
Fast 15 minutes, but I think worth every second of it. If you've been just tuned in, we have been talking on Monday, the 15th of August, 2022. Keep that in mind when you evaluate the information. Go to maxatours.com and you can see our small upscale European tours that we're offering this year and next year's, which are filling fast. And you can also scroll to the bottom of the homepage and subscribe to my free occasional gossipy newsletter on travel. It's all free. I'll send it to you. We don't sell you names. We don't sell you anything. All right, Tommy, take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your weekend.